I've got notes ready for one about black shuck and black dogs in general.
Oh, I'll tell you where I went to on the weekend. Went up to the moors to where Hound of the Baskervilles was based. There's actually a little prehistoric settlement that's just like ruins there, and in the Hound of the Baskerville, that's where Sherlock hid when he was undercover. And we actually were there.
Cool.
And there's actually this pub in the middle of nowhere. We're going to go, when you come up or come down, we're going to go. And this pub in the middle of the moors, nothing else around it. And you sit outside and you just look over on the horizon, and there's this circle, a huge stone circle. And that's this ancient settlement. And you will like that. There's a lot of prehistory there.
Okay, well, let's do Black Shuck and the Hounds of Britain.
Boo Foons, mystery investigators.
Welcome to the Boo Foons Mystery Investigators. I'm Dan.
And I'm Steve.
And today we are, starting off in East Anglia, my neck of the woods. Hooray!
Ooh. Oh, great. Can you do this in your accent? All of this. Now, whenever you're in your neck of the woods, I want to hear your accent. I want to hear your real accent come out now. So that's it. From now on, whilst you deal with anything from your neck of the woods, that has to be your accent.
In that case, we're no longer in my neck of the woods. We're going to talk about everything else.
No, man, you've got to do it. This is what I look forward to. This is the only reason I do these podcasts, to listen to you talk in your Norfolk accent. It's so good.
Yeah. Well, before I go into the Norfolk accent, just for you, I will say today we are talking about the Hounds of Britain. So black dogs that are known to be evil or menacing in some way or another. Now, I did do lots of research, and Steve is a little bit annoyed because he thinks I've been very biased in my research, where a lot of the research around the black dogs and the black hounds of Britain all comes back to Black Shuck. Everything that I searched for came back to Black Shuck.
But that's not right. I live in Devon. I came to Devon because of the Hound of the Baskervilles. I want it to be a Devon dog. I don't want a Norfolk dog. I didn't move to Norfolk.
And we can talk about that and just ignore Black Shuck in general, and then I don't have to do the accent. There we go.
Oh, well, like you said, it all goes back to Black Shuck.
Yeah, everything seems to go. Everything seems to go back to Black Shuck, which there is a reason for, which people have to keep listening to the episode to find out why.
So we're doing Black Shuck at the end of the episode.
The climax is going to be where the first legend sort of came from.
It wasn't drool coming from his lips. These dogs, they can lick any part of themselves. I've seen it. He wasn't really foaming at the mouth.
Oh dear. Are you sitting comfortably? I don't know where that's from. Yeah, but I know it's from something.
That sounds very creepy the way you say it, though.
There are moments in East Anglia where the world goes quiet in a way that feels wrong. Not peaceful, not gentle, but the kind of silence that presses against your skin, as if the land itself is holding its breath. The birds stop, the wind dies, even the insects seem to freeze mid-air. And in that stillness you feel it, the sense that something ancient is watching you from the hedgerows, something patient, something that has walked these marshes long before any of us arrived.
That's your dad. I was going to say it was me, but it's not, because I haven't hanging around the hedge. It was probably my dad. He did fall into hedges a lot with prostitutes from that village he was in. he didn't know. He just was very interested. He just was, this woman just happened to show her interest in him, took him home, and he was so drunk he fell in the bushes with her. And then they just, he was famous for falling into bush with a local prostitute. That's Norfolk for you.
For over 1,000 years, people across East Anglia have reported seeing a creature with burning eyes, silent paws, and a habit of appearing right before disaster. A creature known by many names: the black dog, the hellhound, the Church Grim, but here in this part of the world, he's simply known as Black Shuck. And tonight we're following the pawprints through storms, marshes, and centuries of fear. There you go. Did you like it?
I did. I liked that a lot. I liked that a lot. I was really into that. I almost didn't want to interrupt you. So, honestly, do people still believe in Black Shuck in that neck? I know it's, like say you were making boggarts when you were in school, so and that wasn't that long ago. So I imagine you were told to watch out for Black Shuck, were you?
Well, I can remember seeing a news story in their EDP, Eastern Daily Press, about somebody seeing Black Shuck. And it turned out that it wasn't Black Shuck at all. It was a panther that had escaped from one of the zoos.
I don't know what's more interesting. Is it the fact you found a panther?
Yeah.
Or the Beast of Bodmin Moor turned up in Norfolk as well. So there's nothing in Devon and Cornwall, is there? Everything's in Norfolk.
But there are stories where people have apparently seen Black Shuck recently.
Oh, really?
It seems as if Black Shuck seems to be the dog, the blueprint of the black dog across the UK, where you get the warnings of don't go out. I will spoil it straight away. The reason why people think Black Shuck was the starting point of a lot of the British legends of black dogs is they do think it has come across from Norse mythology of Garma. Or Garm, which is a wolf or a dog associated with both Hell and Ragnarok, and apparently is a bloodstained guardian of Hell's Gate. And obviously the history of Britain is that East Anglia, that was where the Norse settlers came from. There are also rumours that Cerberus, from the Greek mythology, being the black dog with 3 heads that guards the underworld.
Oh, you mean from Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
The Hound of
Fluffy.
Hades. Yeah, Fluffy, yeah. There's rumours that came across with European. However, there are some arguments that it could be Welsh mythology and folklore of Quinn Anwyn.
Who?
Quinn Anwyn, who is also...
Say with a Welsh accent.
Quinn Anwyn.
Sounds the same.
I'm not as good at a Welsh I can only do a Welsh accent if I really try.
Matter of fact, it did sound like it was an Indian accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, we think we did this before on one of the other episodes. I don't know why when people do the Welsh accent, when they end up making it sound like they're doing an Indian accent.
Yeah, I've managed to insult enough Welsh people. And
New Zealanders and Indians, and I think there's a whole list actually. I think the list of people you've insulted is almost a list of the people I don't like.
And usually it's because I've mispronunciated a word or have tried to do an accent and failed poorly.
Yeah, it's almost terrible the way you pronounce a word as it's spelt rather than as it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of people seem to think that the black dog legend sort of comes from mainly Norse settlers who settled in East Anglia, and then it ended up becoming over time a big British legend. So that's why a lot of the research that I've done in this, trying to find multiple black dogs to talk about, tend to end up coming back to Black Shuck.
Well, basically they're all Black Shuck, is that what you're saying?
Not that they're all Black Shuck. That it seems to be inspired by Black Shuck. It seems to be that he was basically the OG,
Alpha.
Then everyone else sort of, as time went on and as people migrated across Britain and the stories developed, it then became a big bit of British folklore that then spread out from there. So I have got notes on all of them, but I just wanted to throw that out there that I am aware of other black dogs before people turn off and go, well, I'm not just going to listen to this, spoiler alert.
Boring.
So,
and your black dog doesn't exist. It's just this one.
No, I'm not saying that they don't exist. Black Shuck is described as being enormous, sometimes the size of a calf, sometimes the size of a pony, sometimes just a very large dog. And the fur is always described as being blacker than the night around him, absorbing light rather than reflecting it. The eyes glowing like burning coals, usually depicted as being red, and it never blinks.
Like the aliens in Attack the Block, you mean?
Yeah, exactly
That's what
like
they
those
say.
aliens.
They're cool aliens.
Now, Shuck comes from the old English word skooka, which means devil, demon, or fiend, which then, because of East Anglia having their own dialect, and still to this day, if you go to Norfolk, you can buy tea towels with Norfolk dialect on it. Skooka ended up being merged with the local dialect word shooky, which means shaggy or hairy. So eventually, Black Shuck ended up being the black shaggy dog.
Oh, it sounds really cute.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't
It doesn't
at all
sound
sound
like
scary.
the hellhound, does it?
No.
Maybe they should have kept the skooka bit.
I think Spit the Dog. Do you remember? You're too young for Spit the Dog, aren't you? Bob Carolgees and Spit. I'm sure it was Bob Carolgees. And it was just this little black shaggy dog that would just spit on everybody. It was height of comedy in the 80s.
Yeah, I'm aware of it, but haven't really seen it.
Well, YouTube it. You'll know what you'll be glad you weren't born in that era after seeing that.
So Black Shuck was said to move silently, without leaving footsteps behind or footprints. You can't hear it panting, and often appears with a sudden drop of temperature. Before he arrives, the world goes still, which is actually known. So it actually has its own folklore phenomenon around it called the Shuck aura.
Okay.
And if you feel the silence fall around you, it's a case of you need to get out of there.
Ooh.
So the Shuck aura, apparently, birds stop singing. Any wind that's around dies down. The hum of any traffic or noise in the background disappears. Nature itself seems to just stop. And witnesses of Black Shuck have described an overwhelming feeling of being watched by something cold and indifferent. Not hostile, not friendly, just an ancient being.
Like Shakira.
Her hips don't lie.
Shakira. She's quite scary as well. What I loved about Shakira, not Shakira, was the fact she had to keep reminding herself what her name was. I've never heard anybody since or before shout their name so many times in so many songs. Almost like they just had to keep being reminded who they were. Sorry, did you say Shakira or Shakura?
Shakira.
No, the aura you were talking about.
The Shuck aura.
Oh, Shuck aura. Sorry, I just want to try to work out why I got onto Shakira. Now I remembered. Yeah. Thank you.
Shuck as in Black Shuck, and then aura as in a thing that's around you. Now, this aura has been reported across several centuries, from medieval churchgoers to even modern day people.
Ooh, when's the last one?
I've got one here from 1995. I'm not accepting that the 90s was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, Dan. You're an old man now, and everybody else listens to you're a lot older than you think you are.
I'm going to take you to the 4th of August, 1577.
That's a long time ago.
There was a storm so violent that people at the time described it as being apocalyptic. Between 9 and 10 o'clock in the evening, the sky above Bungay...
Where's the accent then?
Hopefully that sigh was audible. If not, Dave, please put in an audible sigh.
If you're talking, I don't know where you're meaning unless you got the accent there. Come on, where's the accent? Bungay, come on.
4th of August, 1577, began with a storm so violent that chroniclers described it as being apocalyptic. Between 9 and 10 o'clock, the sky above Bungay turned the colour of a healing bruise, purple, black, and a bit of yellow. Thunder cracked like a cannon fire. Lightning split the sky into jagged white scars. Inside St. Mary's Church, the congregation knelt in prayer. Voices trembled beneath the roar of the storm. The air was thick, heavy, electric. And then the doors exploded inward. A shape burst through. A black dog.
What year did you say this was?
1577.
Had they invented electricity back then? How do they know the air was electric? I got a feeling this isn't true.
I would guess thunderstorms.
Yeah, but they didn't know what electricity was. I don't believe this account. There's too much evidence to say it's not right. Even with your accent, it's still not right now. Okay, carry on. So I won't interrupt.
A shape burst through the church door, a black dog, enormous, its eyes burning with a red fire that reflected off the stone walls. It moved with impossible speed, racing down the nave, passing between two worshippers who fell instantly, their necks broken as if twisted by invisible hands. The creature did not slow down. It tore through the church, leaving scorch marks on the door as it vanished back into the storm. The marks still remain to this day, but the storm wasn't finished. At Holy Trinity Church in Blythburgh, 12 miles away, the same creature appeared. The steeple collapsed through the roof. A boy and a man were killed. And on the north door, 3 long black and claw marks burned into the wood.
I love it. Just crash into churches, kill 2 people in every church and run straight out again. It's just like, you see people doing that on YouTube these days, don't you? When they're sort of like raiding a supermarket.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, apart from maybe just less broken necks.
But that one there about the Bungay Church, that is a very big legend around Black Shuck, and the fact that, like it said, there are scorch marks on the door to this day.
You mean they haven't changed the door in 600 years, whatever it is?
Well, it's a church. They claim that they don't have money. But the marks are sort of around the outside. They're around like in the stonework.
I mean, I got to admit though, if I lived in a place called Bungay, I would have to think of something cool as a legend, because you can't just be like known for being called Bungay.
So over in Essex, a midwife was walking the lonely lanes of Tolshant Darcy, and was often accompanied by a silent black dog who walked beside her until she reached the safety of the village lights. In Lincolnshire, Shuck-like dogs guard ancient burial mounds and prehistoric sites. In Ireland, similar hounds protect fairy forts. So in those stories, they're closer to the Norse mythology of guarding the dead, of being a guardian.
So obviously people in Norfolk have done something to really upset this dog.
Yeah.
Do you think the dog just was really annoyed by the accent? Essex accent, so much better. Felt too sorry for the people in Essex, so it wasn't going to attack them. But why kill all these people in Norfolk? I mean, I know they still sacrifice people, children to like the boggarts and stuff like that, for the crops. I mean, I know that stuff still goes on, which is why they couldn't do Clarkson's farm in Norfolk, because that would all end up on TV, wouldn't it? All the sacrificing for a good harvest. I mean, honestly, tell me, Dan, does that really still happen in Norfolk?
If you would like to believe it, then yes, it does.
It's a lovely place. My family's up in Norfolk, so I've got to be careful. Luckily, no one knows me there, so I can say it. Got to just be careful next time I head up there. Going
into Cambridgeshire, they actually have a couple of different stories that are linked to Black Shuck. One is the story of a huge black dog haunting the area after being killed, rescuing a girl from a lustful friar in pre-Reformation times.
Sorry. Okay.
Yep.
And so the lustful friar wasn't just a lustful friar; it was also a dog killer.
Yep.
Now that's the bit in the film, isn't it? Everyone goes, "Oh no, don't kill the dog. Don't worry about being a lustful friar. But just don't kill the dog." Do you know, I remember watching at the cinema with Jurassic Park 2, I think it was, or Jurassic Park 3, and the uproar when the dog got eaten by the T-Rex. It's just crazy. It's like, hang on a second, these dinosaurs just eaten 300 people. Why are you... They just ate a child, but now they've eaten a dog. You're going to cry.
But the other story in Littleport is a black dog that haunts the now A10 road, and it's right near the River Great Ouse, where apparently an owner of a black dog drowned in the 1800s, and there's a black dog still seen there. But some people try to link it to Black Shuck, but they're both more ghostly dogs.
That just seems like a ghostly dog. Yeah, that doesn't seem like a Black Shuck dog. That's not one to be scared of, is it?
Now, so you said about modern-ish times. In 1960, a cyclist on the B1026 was followed by a snarling black hound that vanished the moment he turned to confront it.
So it may not have even been there. He may just... He only disappeared when he turned around. It's not there.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a dog there.
But in 1995, a witness in Leiden saw a calf-sized black dog standing by churchyard gates, its eyes glowing in the street life before vanishing. Pitsea Mound, 2 separate incidents of giant black dogs have appeared and moved around before disappearing. In Vang Marshes, a silent sentinel dog appears in the mist and vanishes into the reeds. There are several stories across the Norfolk Broads, including evidence such as a mutilated deer, roaring from reed beds, and an American Air Forceman who saw red eyes glowing inside a locked hangar.
Oh, that could have been an alien.
Some people think that Black Shuck is a death omen because there have been several incidents where, and this goes back to, do you remember when we were walking around Dartmoor and we kept seeing things where it was like, this happens, it was that lake where you look in the lake and you then see the face of the next person that dies. So there are several accounts of people seeing...
All we could see in there was an old mattress.
Yeah, yeah. And some teenagers that were swimming in it. So Black Shuck has been seen many times, and people have felt the aura. They've looked across, seen the giant black hound with the red eyes, and then soon after seeing Black Shuck, somebody close to them in the family has died. So a lot of people see him as a death omen. Some people see him as a guardian because he's been seen several times in graveyards. So they think that it links back to Odin's dog and the dog that was linked to Hel and Ragnarok. So that, or even links to Cerberus being, the dog in the underworld. So some people think that it's actually a guardian looking after the dead people. Some people think that it's just an ancient legend that still survives to this day, and maybe it's an ancient thing that's still looking after us, some sort of ancient spirit that's watching. However, they all see it as a huge black dog with red eyes and linked very much to death. Whether it's an omen that death is going to happen or a guardian of the death. So this is where we can then go into other dogs. Because Black Shuck seems to be the most famous. There's even a beer named after him that I like. So Black Dog Mild from Elgood's Brewery in... So in Wisbeach, there's a brewery called Elgood's. If you're listening, please get in touch. Give me free beer, especially Black Dog Mild.
I've never heard somebody wanted freebies. I'm desperately in need for free beer.
Yep. So Elgood's, if you're listening, hit me up. And they have a beer which is very delicious called Black Dog Mild, which is named after Black Shuck. But you were saying about Bungay earlier. They do have a Black Shuck festival.
When is it? Because we can go.
2026. It's Friday the 31st of July to Sunday the 2nd of August. So we could go.
If I can get my car working again. Oh, Volvo. Yeah. If you want to sponsor us, I could do with another Volvo. Sorry, I just thought I'd try it, Dan. If you see which one gets it first, a free beer or a free Volvo.
But yeah, we could turn it into a Boo Foons on tour.
Yeah, it could be really good.
So, although Black Shuck is one of the most famous hounds, he's not the only black dog across Britain. From the granite tors of Dartmoor to the heather-soaked North York moors, black dogs appear again and again. Huge, shaggy, glowing-eyed creatures that haunt crossroads, churchyards, ancient trackways, and lonely stretches of moorland. Some are omens of death, some guardians, some are part of the wild hunt, and some, quite frankly, sound like they've been denied entry to a dog show for excessive supernatural behaviour. I thought you'd like that bit.
You did, yeah. Oh, you did, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be, wow, what a great dog show that would be, though. If it was just for fictional folklore and mystical dogs.
That would be great. Now, folklore.
Every judge just dies with a broken neck.
Folklores have catalogued dozens of regional variants, each with its own personality, habits, and favourite haunting spots. The Wisht Hounds of Dartmoor.
Ooh.
So Black Shuck is the king of East Anglia. The Dartmoor's Wisht Hounds are the monarchs of the West Country. Dartmoor's Wisht Hounds are the monarchs of the West Country, and they don't mess around. These spectral hounds are said to run with the Wisht Hunt, terrifying storm-ridden procession led by the ghostly figure of Old Crocken, the spirit of Dartmoor itself. Witnesses describe enormous black dogs with glowing eyes, dripping jaws, and paws that make no sound on the granite. They race across the moors in packs, howling through the mist, hunting the souls of the unwary. The word wished actually means eerie, uncanny, or ill-omened. That's funny that it also means very bad paranormal podcast. Yeah.
Do you know, though, I respect the fact he's doing something, but I fall asleep listening to it, and I don't go back to listen to it again.
I listened and I was bored. I then also tried to watch the TV show that he's done, and I was bored.
Yeah. These stories shouldn't be boring. I tell you something, if he did it with a Norfolk accent, it wouldn't be boring.
However, if he is listening, which he's probably not,
listening.
If you do want to come on and prove us wrong, then hit us up.
Trust me, it doesn't take much to prove me wrong. Let's go back to the Wisht Hounds.
So the Wisht Hounds are said to appear during storms, at night, or when the moor is thick with fog, which in Dartmoor, as you know, living there, is basically the whole time.
Yeah, we've just got over 4 days of solid fog where you couldn't see a hand in front of your face. Everybody else in the country's got 30-degree heat, coming up to 35. We're here wearing woolen clothes. We've dressed up for winter with a fog. We can't see a hand in front of our face for a week. Yeah. Welcome to Plymouth.
Anyone who hears the howls of the Wisht Hounds are advised to lie face down and pray the dogs pass by.
Ooh. Well, do you know what, though? I wouldn't lay face down, especially if it's a horny dog. Yeah.
So this is where the Hound of the Baskervilles come in, Steve.
And his little pink lipstick.
With the Wisht Hounds of Dartmoor.
Oh, okay.
So locals were telling several stories of the monstrous black dogs that prowled the bogs and the tors of Dartmoor. Conan Doyle was known to visit Dartmoor on holiday, and he heard of the innkeepers all talking about these hounds that prowled Dartmoor. And the folklore speaks of giant coral black dogs with eyes like burning coals and a howl that can stop your heart. Some versions of the story say that they were guarding treasure. Others say that it was hunting sinners. Others claim that it's the ghost of a murdered man transformed into a beast. So while Conan Doyle was visiting Dartmoor, whilst researching was on holiday, he heard all of these black dog stories and ended up borrowing them, which then became the inspiration for the Hound of the Baskervilles.
Do you know, I've been out in the moors quite a lot recently, and the closest I got to the Hound of the Baskervilles is I stumbled on a dogging area. We didn't know it was a dogging area. We actually stumbled. We were sitting out there trying to watch because apparently it's supposed to be Northern Lights were showing. I don't know if I told you. So we parked up the car to look for the Northern Lights, and this old guy in a raincoat comes over, knocks on the window, and says, "Are you going to do something then?" It's like, what? What are you doing here? He said, well, if you're not going to do anything, we said, we're coming to see the Northern Lights. What's the Northern Lights? So we had to explain to this guy what the Northern Lights were. We gave him a lesson in astronomy and physics and all that stuff. So, yes, we know which area to now avoid. Funny, I was up there again yesterday, not for any other reason apart from I was flying my new drone, and my car broke down on the way home. Luckily, it broke down at the end of the road, not in the dogging area, which was the alternative. I could have been stuck there.
And did you
see
see
the RAC man?
And did you see any black hounds?
No, but I saw little pink lipsticks.
Anyway, Hound of the Baskervilles.
Yes.
So, oh dear. Right. So Arthur Conan Doyle had been staying in Buckfastleigh in Devon. And that was where he had heard all of these stories of black dogs across Dartmoor. And he had heard about apparently there was a story that he had heard about a man who had sold his soul to the devil. And when he had died, had turned into a black dog that haunted the area. He had he had heard stories about the phantom pack of hounds that go across the moor. And Arthur Conan Doyle was fascinating. There are people that believe that Baskerville Hall is one of the houses near Dartmoor that gave its name to the Hound of the Baskervilles. Apparently, Thomas Baskerville, who was a politician, may have also had the name Baskervilles from it. Some people do claim that Doyle was inspired by a holiday he had been on in North Norfolk, where he'd heard the story of Black Shuck. And he had been staying in Cromer Hall, and they think that that's where it came from. However, it is widely accepted that the inspiration of the Hound of the Baskervilles is Wisht Hounds of Dartmoor.
Because I don't know, he did quite a lot of stories in Devon and Cornwall and Norfolk. So yeah. Is quite often he wants to go those far out backwards towns.
And of course, Hound of the Baskervilles is set in Devon. It's pretty much that it is based on there. So the next story, we go to Somerset for the Girt Dog of Somerset. Now this
Girt Dog.
Yeah, the Girt Dog. So the Girt Dog of Somerset is a benevolent black hound said to protect travellers on the Mendip Hills. Witnesses describe a huge shaggy dog who walks alongside lone wanderers, keeping them safe from harm. Girt means great or large in the West Country dialect. The Girt Dog is one of the few black dogs people want to meet because it's actually just friendly. So the Girt Dog is described the exact same as all these other dogs as being big, giant, black, shaggy hair, and all of that. But it actually protects people.
Well, that's not very scary then, is it?
Okay, let's go to Yorkshire then, the Barguest of Yorkshire.
Oh, that sounds scary.
It's one of the most fearsome hounds in British folklore. So again, exactly the same description. A massive shaggy black dog with huge claws, glowing eyes. But this one has a howl that foretells death. It is said to roam the streets of York, the lanes of the Dales, and the edges of the North York moors. Some stories describe it as dragging chains behind it. Others say it can shapeshift into a headless man or a white rabbit.
Oh, yeah, I can see why. I can see why. It's both horrifying, especially if, I guess, Monty Python, Holy Grail, you can't get scarier than White Rabbit.
Yeah.
Got to get the holy hand grenades out. What? How could they decide a headless man or a white rabbit?
Yeah.
Which idiot decided to think that's the one that we're gonna? My God, it's so. And then you say, "Well, why don't you take these things seriously, Steve?" I wonder why, Dan. Am I going to have to remember this every time you say you're not taking this seriously? White rabbit, or headless man? That's all I'm going to say. That's everything to do with these. They're always the same.
The Barghest is often linked to crossroads, bridges, and liminal spaces. Places
and
where
rabbit burrows.
Places where the living and the dead brush shoulders. The Barghest's appearance is always a bad omen, where people know that if they see the Barghest, they are soon going to die.
And is this the Barghest as a dog, or as a headless man, or as a rabbit?
Most of it is about it being a dog, and for some reason there was two different stories where one of it one of the stories suggests that they saw the Barghest, and then as they approached it, it was the ghost of a headless man. And there's another story where they saw the Barghest, and then they saw it turn into a white rabbit and disappear.
God.
Which, to me, that one sounds more like, because that one where with the white rabbit, the story is that it was on the edge of the North York Moors, which to me, I think, right, so they've seen the Barghest, this big black scary dog. They've turned their head for a couple of seconds, turned back again, and there just happens to be a rabbit.
Rabbit sitting there. Yeah. I reckon this could be a really good daytime BBC programme. We can get Tim Wonnacott after him and we can call it Barghest Hunt. They could just be trying to find it.
The locals speak of Padfoots, Guy Trash, and Trash, who are three separate spectral dogs that appear on lonely roads or near old burial mounds. So again, near the burial mounds, linked to omens of death, also being seen as guardians looking after the burial mounds. However, they can be tricksters who lead travellers astray, leading them to their death. One of them, called a skriker, is named for the eerie shrieking sound that precedes its appearance. Trash gets its name from the noise, the splashing noise of its feet in the puddles. And Guy Trash also has the trash of that. Yeah.
It's splash, not trash. And what was the other one? Guy Trash.
Yeah.
Again, it's like TikTok listening onto the women. I hate men. They're all trash. That's Guy Trash for you. And why is he called Guy Trash?
Same reason.
What? Because he splashes in the water.
Yep.
But he's got a pink lipstick, so it's got to be a Guy Trash. Yeah.
So Padfoot is also seen in Lancashire. So the Lancashire Padfoot story is a huge black dog with saucer-sized eyes and broad, heavy feet that make a distinctive padding sound on the road. Some stories say it follows travellers silently, which then contradicts itself, because if it's known for its heavy feet that make a padding sound, how can it follow them silent?
Yep. And is it a big dog, or is it just got a dog with incredibly large eyes and like its head's dragging along the ground because it's too heavy?
Yeah, apparently it's a huge dog.
Okay.
With big eyes.
So it's a bus shape. It's the size of a bus or a cow with saucers for eyes.
Yep.
And no one can hear it coming, but it makes a loud noise.
Yep.
Dan, this is... I can see why you love your folklore.
So the traveller, it follows these travellers and then vanishes at their doorstep. It's then said that somebody in the home will soon be dead.
Will die, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Unless you give it alcohol and tobacco.
Yep. Apparently it's predicted mining disasters and family tragedies.
So, hang on. So, a mine disaster, is that just when one person died, or did it just go around everybody's house, one by one? knocking on the door.
I would guess it probably just turned up at the mine and just went, haha, you're all dead now. Yeah. Would you like me to start bringing this to a conclusion? Because I can see you're fed up.
No, I'm not fed up at all. I'm just imagining it. I'm just thinking all these places where people are just scared of dogs turning up without a lead or a collar because they think everyone's going to die. And it's just like, there's a lot of dogs around. I mean, I know that I saw at least 4 the day my dad died, and I'm sure they had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
But I also saw a dog potentially the day my mum died as well. Actually, I did because we had it. So I saw a black dog on the day my mum died. And I'm sure that has nothing to do with it either. But that's 2 deaths and at least 6 dogs.
The black dog, obviously, nowadays is seen as a metaphor. So the black dog being a metaphor for depression, which was used by Winston Churchill.
I've actually got my little black dog badge here. But when I went to seek some help, and I don't know where it's gone now. I've lost it. So luckily, I've lost my black dog badge with my depression. So I still think the best cure, and this is a good thing, right? Best cure for depression, doing a podcast with you.
Talking about black dogs.
Yeah, that's it. We get half the male population of the country will now want to do a podcast with you, Dan.
Well, they'll have to pay me.
Yeah, it's cheaper than therapy. Get you on the NHS. Yeah. Sorry, yes.
So,
black dogs, depression.
Obviously, Winston Churchill used black dog as a metaphor for depression, which we now use to this day as a metaphor for it. And it does actually go back centuries, linking to these stories, the idea of a heavy, shadowy presence following you around, padding behind you, sitting at your feet. And it does resonate deeply with people who do struggle with mental health. It's very powerful. Black dogs can be supernatural or cuddly rather than symbolic. The metaphor and the folklore often does overlap, especially in this one, because both speak to the feeling and being pursued by something you can't see, something that feels ancient. Death. Yeah.
Well, not often, but can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can see that. See, they get all serious, Dan. Yeah. You need to do that again without me talking over you.
Well, the bit I was going to add there is the fact that this folklore story of all these black dogs and also this symbolic metaphor for depression, you are talking about the feeling of being pursued by something you can't see, something that feels ancient, heavy, and hard to shake off, and something that is just stalking you.
That's really good. And quite depressing.
It is depressing.
There you go. I was happy until then. Now look at me.
Well, black dogs do appear everywhere. So you can find medieval manuscripts where they talk about black dogs. Victorian ghost stories have black dogs. We've looked at stories of ghostly dogs before. Even people that write modern horror stories and thriller stories will use black dogs as part of a metaphor or something dark. People, when they're reporting these things like Black Shuck, they tend to say, "Oh, I saw something dark and fearsome in the lonely road at night time. I was by myself and everything went quiet." Now, people, when they are walking home, do sometimes feel afraid of the dark and see things that aren't there. Like you sometimes hear noises. It's very easy to go, this story that I've heard, it must be that. And for these dogs, I know I said it towards the start, but a lot of people attribute the black dogs going right back to Norse mythology and even Odin's black dog that he had with him. Where in a lot of these old mythology stories, they were the guardians of the underworld. They were also depicted as being black dogs. And a lot of these, they do think goes right back to all of these very early stories and ended up being brought back. So Odin had Jerry and Freki, who they translate to the greedy one and the ravenous one, who were 2 mythological black wolves that went on the hunt with him. He also had the spectral pack of black hounds that followed him on the wild hunts. So they do think it goes back to the stories of Odin having these wolves and also these dogs on a pack hunt. And over years, that has morphed into these other folklore stories, which would make sense. We've looked at loads of these stories where it goes right back to something as simple as a story like that. And especially as a lot of these stories, they talk about the dogs either being hunters, again, Odin's wild hunters, which then links into the Dartmoor dogs, the Wisht Hounds. They're hunting dogs and a flock of them. The fact that they're all these dark, ominous creatures that are ghostly in a way. They're often seen around graveyards and burial mounds. Again, these black dogs from mythology were guardians of the underworld. So it's seen as, is it now a metaphor or something which is part of the old wilderness that refuses to be tamed?
Well, it's really interesting, but isn't it? That, but I guess you start off with a really interesting, cool story. That's so, there is a real impact thinking of, you're out there with your pack of black dogs and they are your dogs and they will hunt with you. They will, hunt with you. They will protect you. And you can see why that would be something people would want to bring on into myth and legend and folklore, because it is a powerful image. But you're right about, you can see, often we see things that could have been seen as good at one point, because it's a really powerful image, can be twisted into anything.
Yeah.
It's something positive can also be something negative if the image is strong enough. And, big black dogs with glowing red eyes or glowing white eyes is a very powerful image. And
it is.
Especially if you're talking back in the day when wolves were still roaming the countryside, you suddenly saw face to face with a pack of wolves, you were probably going to get eaten.
I will say an honourable mention to Coosith from Scotland, who is a massive green dog, so a dark green dog, that's a fairy-like creature that is a protector or a deadly hunter, depending on whether it's treated with respect or not.
Okay, so actually, is it a deadly hunter, as in it will hunt you if you don't treat it well? Or if you treat it well, it will just hunt and find you food?
If you treat it well, it will protect you. If you don't, it will kill you.
Let me guess, cigarettes and alcohol.
Well, it's Scotland, so it'll be something deep fried.
I'm brewing a deep fried Mars bar.
Yep.
Yeah.
And on that note, thank you for listening to this episode of Boo Foons Mystery Investigators. As always, do look at our website, boofoons.co.uk. Look at our social media accounts. Please do give a like, a comment, a share. I have seen that quite a few of you have started doing that. Thank you so much. It does genuinely help the podcast. Because of you guys starting to like and comment and share those posts, we've actually seen a huge increase in downloads. So behind the scenes, it is definitely working. If you are feeling very generous, do look at our Patreon and do consider throwing some money at us to help us with things such as going on trips. It would be great if Steve and I could go out together and do something.
Have a Nando's. Spooky Nando's.
I don't even like Nando's.
No. I like the hot sauce. I just drink the hot sauce.
So yes, that can help us do that. So we can actually be in the same room together and do something. Who knows? We can go out on an adventure. And
romantic adventure.
Yes. And as always, do come back on Saturday for a silly episode and return on Wednesday for another story of the weird. We could even look at ghosts or aliens or something next week. Who knows?
Yeah.
Turn up next Wednesday and you'll find out.
That was a shockingly bad sign out, Dan. Right. Bye.
Bye.
Boo Foons Mystery Investigators.